With the introduction of Phase 4 bringing new dungeons and many other minor things, I'm sure we're all really just looking forward to ICC. ICC is Icecrown Citadel, and it's the new raid located, funny enough, in Icecrown. But yeah, all that aside, one of the big additions is the reputation that comes with a raid, which is the Ashen Verdict. The best way to describe it to anyone who played through TBC to get to where we are today is the Hyjal rep farm, basically. How you'd be able to get a ring at friendly, and then by the time you was exalted, you'd be able to get a really cool ring with a proc on it. Also not dissimilar to the Violet Eye rep, which was attached to Karazhan, so you'd farm Karazhan every week, and once you was exalted, you'd get the best ring possible. Of course, it's not just the ring, there's also some crafted recipes as well, which are very good. There is a problem with the crafting patterns in my opinion though, and will definitely be heavily affected by how the raid launches. By this, I mean all the content available at launch, or is it going to open like it did historically, one wing at a time? We all know it's highly likely that all the content will be available at launch, and for most raids I would agree it's the right course of action. But actually with ICC, I lean more towards it being gated. If you're interested in why, I'll go more into that at the end, but for now, let's stay on topic. Ashen Verdict reputation. First, let's have a look at the ring rewards for each role, because really everyone is going to want these. I can't imagine there's a BIS list in the world where one of these rings doesn't exist. They're itemised incredibly well, and for the tanks you're going to get strength, stamina, defence, dodge and hit. For spellcasters you're going to get hit, haste, spell power. Strength users you're just going to get crit and hit. Agility users you're going to get hit, crit and attack power. And finally for the casters you're going to get haste, mana per 5 and spell power. It's a shame there's no spirit on the ring, but whatever, you can't have it all. I won't go through how each ring changes in terms of every stat gain throughout the different reputation stand-ins, but friendly's 251, honoured is 259, revered is 268, and it's at revered when you're actually going to get the proc. So each of these rings comes with an effect. For tanks, you're going to get increased armor. For spellcasters, you're going to get 285 spell power. The melee DPS are going to get 480 attack power. And the healers, you're going to get 285 spell power. That's all going to be available when you hit Revered. Exalted obviously scales the item up to 277, which is the highest it's going to go to, on top of the proc, so that doesn't change. It's still the same amount of power, but you're also going to get a socket in your ring as well now. Literally making these rings just super powerful. Socket, a chance to give extra spell power, attack power, or armor as a tank. You just want to get exalted as quickly as possible. And we're going to talk about how. Like I said, I think it's fair to say you're going to want these as soon as possible. How quickly you can get these will differ greatly on your approach to your raid though. If we fast forward to launch night of Phase 4, if your guild's heading straight in when the gates open to smash through it all as quickly as possible, then rep farming 25-man might be out of the question for you. You could, however, the following day, farm rep in 10-man. The rep farm is fairly basic. You're just clearing up to Lord Marrowgar, which is the first boss, ensuring you trigger all the traps for the maximum amount of mobs to kill, and then you just go out, reset, and you do it again. In a 10-man trash run, you're looking at around 700 rep a clear, and on 25-man, you're looking at around 900. So it's a significant amount more rep to warrant doing it on 25-man, and also you need to take into account that 25-man drops trash BOEs, like these ones. They're 264 eye level, and they are absolutely bonkers, really, to say that they're just something you can buy or sell on the auction house. If you rep farm on 10-man, however, all of these are out of the question. 10-man does not drop trash BOEs. I also want to touch on Shadowmourne before we look at the rest of the loot that you actually get from the reputation. As you have no doubt heard, this beast of a weapon becomes available in Phase 4 as well, and every DK, Paladin, Brown class, as we should talk about warriors. So yeah, they're all gonna want this. I'm gonna break down the quest line and tips on obtaining it in the next couple of days, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. But the very first quest requires you to be friendly with Ashen Verdict to even pick it up. Now what you might instantly be thinking is, oh no, I need to do trash runs on launch night to at least get friendly. Well no, I've tested this on a character starting with 0 rep. It was a non-human, so there was no reputation increase from racials, and you can comfortably hit friendly when you need to. What I mean by when you need to is the first part of the quest needs a load of primordial saranites, which drop from the bosses and can be bought from emblems. You'll also need a quest item that you get outside of the raid, but then you'll need to kill Rotface and Festagut. In a regular clear, you'd go to these straight after Deathbringer Sarfang. Now, on the basis you're going to get around 900 rep from the initial trash, you're going to kill 4 bosses and a bunch more trash, you'll comfortably achieve friendly before you get to Festagut and Rotface. The testing I was doing on my server kind of screwed me over when I broke the gunship, quite literally. But I was on about 2k rep without even getting past the gunship, so yeah, friendly is very comfortable. The fact that you can get rep from 10-man is important though. If you're geared to the teeth raiding TOGC, there's only a limited amount of upgrades for you in ICC 10. That'd be worth not rushing to get it cleared early in the reset if you can help it, because then you can really put your time focusing on that 10-man trash farm for the entire lockout, just to make sure you get exalted as quickly as possible. Because while the upgrades in 10-man are probably going to be quite minor for you, there's things like Whisper and Fang's Skull, you know, the attack power trinket, even the weapons from Lich King 10 Heroic are going to be decent. But they could probably wait. Getting that 277 ring is going to be far more valuable. Now, I mentioned Primordial Saronite, which is needed for the Shadowmourne quest. It's also the currency not only to buy the new recipes from the Ashen Verdict vendors, but also to craft them as well. Now, with a massive requirement initially of 25 of these for the first part of the Shadowmourne quest, chances of your guild letting you use any to get crafted epics is probably slim to none. This is my only minor issue with all the content out at launch. It kind of kills the whole excitement over getting new crafted gear in new content super fast and grinding out the rep to get the recipes. I mean, sure, you can spend 23 emblems on a Primordial, but even that, would your guild be happy that you're spending emblems on a Primordial Saronite that you're using to then get a pattern, to then use that pattern to make gold on the auction house, or whatever your reasoning for it is? They probably won't be. They'd probably rather you helped and pulled together as a team to help that first person get that Shadowmourne as quickly as possible. So I feel like Shadowmourne is pretty much a choke point for anybody wanting to get Primordial Saronites to actually get some of these recipes. But the actual patterns themselves that you're going to get reputation-wise, you're going to get 264 boots, so basically a pair of boots for every class as you would expect. Each of these cost 1 Primordial Saronite to actually buy the recipe, and then you're looking at 5 Primordial Saronites, as well as things like Titan Steel Bars, your Munga Scales, Arctic Fur, Eternals, basically the normal things that you would expect to need from a new crafted piece of gear. So the boots come from Honoured, and then at Revered, you're going to get legs. So again, a pair of legs for basically every spec, and they are incredibly well itemized, with the leather legs giving crit, attack power, and armor pen, which is lovely. Same for the mail legs. If you're a Holy Paladin, the plate Holy legs, crit, haste, spell power are perfect. All of them are just really well itemized. And now, if you think about how quick you'd be able to like catch up gear-wise by getting these boots and legs, you know, crafted Alduar belt, crafted TOGC chest and bracers, you know, all of these slots are big, just getting filled like ridiculously quick. And then all the BOEs that come from ICC 25, the BOEs from Alduar, BOEs even from TOC. Pretty mental, really. Now, there's going to be a lot more in-depth talk about how to gain the rep. Now, I've already mentioned about trash runs up to Marigar, but there will be specific numbers in the Shadowmourne quest guide, because that's going to be when it really matters. Yes, you're probably going to trash farm 10-man to get your rings in week 1 or maybe week 2, but actually reaching friendly to get the quest the first week as a DK or warrior or a paladin is super important. If you was just interested in sort of the number of runs you're going to have to do and how long they take, a trash farm at the start, just doing up to Marigar, really is only going to take 15 minutes-ish. Let's say 20 to be safe. I've read historically that if you clear everything, including setting all the traps off, it's about 1,010 rep per run. I was actually getting around 900, so it will be somewhere between 900 and 1,000. So you're going to need 3 to 4 runs just to hit friendly, which you're looking at taking around an hour or so. You'll need between 9 and 11 runs to hit Honoured, and then let's say 21 to 24 runs to hit Revered, and then, I don't know, 42 to 45 runs to hit Exalted. I'm just throwing out random numbers. The minimum it would take would be, obviously, 42. But if you was to say 42 to 45, if it takes you an extra couple because maybe you didn't trigger traps or whatever, or you just got slightly less rep, like I was getting slightly less rep when I was testing it, just gives a bit of leeway. But there's not really much else to tell you about the Ashen Verdict's rep. You're going to want to get Exalted because you're going to want to get the ring. I've explained how you're going to do it, but you can absolutely just clear ICC on 10 and 25 every week, and you'll get more than enough rep to actually hit Exalted in a timely fashion anyway. As always, be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me over on Kick, kick.com/Scottejaye. Come see me live stream, and I'll see you on the next one.